Good morning, David Addison. Just for you. Hello. It's been a long time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world at 6 o'clock in the morning in Canberra, the nation's capital, which is why it looks a bit different where I am here. And we won't even go for as long this morning because what I've got set up here, the lighting is probably the best it is right here. And the PowerPoint's on the other side of the room, and we've got about 45% power left on the MacBook. So we'll see how we go. Morning, everybody. Well, morning, Mr. McMillan. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Good,
You're
good.
only 15,000 kilometers away. We're so much closer than what I normally am.
Yeah. The wavelengths could get there that much quicker.
Well, it's so much quicker as it is already.
Yeah.
Got a few people here this morning already. What's this? There must be some soccer game or something going on. There must be some sort of soccer event going on. We don't really get into it too much here. Good evening, Wales, UK. Try to watch as much as I can. Our grandchildren, not soccer at all. But how I thought you were allergic to YouTube these days, man. I haven't seen you on the tubes for ages. Scott Baker, I don't know what that means. Shun. Don't know.
It's a David Addison thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't watch him because he doesn't create anymore.
Camera and he goes, shoo.
Oh, that. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. Even Dale Lodrington. Where's Devo? He's probably watching. So actually, he's probably like.
Yeah, he's probably 3 sheets into the wind.
That's it. So this morning, we'll do something. Manos G. G'day, mate. David Addison laughing. What's happening with YouTube creation, dude? Like, did your camera break? Is that why you're not shooting anymore? You know you can do it with your phone, right? You could record on these as well. So we're in before we go on too much, just before we came live here, I took some photos just out on the balcony out here, and I showed Greg, and it's pretty impressive, isn't it? We'll talk about it.
It is. Yeah. Still not enough to make me switch, though.
Oh, it is. So I took this photo with the iPhone off the balcony. Wake up. Can I turn it this way? A little bit of reflection going on there, but there's a building across the way there, and some that's my reminder to get ready to do Facebook Live. And then I shot it with the Pixel. It's exactly the same, but the detail in this is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's not a night mode photo. That's handheld. Both of them are handheld. One of them's the iPhone one was a night mode one. The Pixel just did it. It was the detail is ridiculous, and it didn't. Greg said, did it send a photo to the interwebs for it to get it all fixed up and bring it all back? And no, that phone's not connected to anything. It had a SIM card in there for a while. Not anymore. Wait for the video on that one. There's things about it that I absolutely love, and I wish that the iPhone did it. And the things that it doesn't do, you wouldn't. The things that the reason that I've taken the SIM card back out of it are not the reasons that you think because I'm an iPhone person. They're not the reasons that you think.
Yeah. If you switched to the Google Pixel, you would likely be more inclined to make derogatory remarks on people's images and comment threads and stuff.
Is that a Pixel or is that an S23?
I just thought it was Android.
Or an Oppo or something. I've had enough of David Addison's little laughing face up there. Get rid of that. The sport stickers. See, you swear they were hours apart. We kind of are hours apart. Morning. The beauty of where we are here, Sarah just woke up, is that normally when we're in a hotel, but the bed's normally right there, and I got to speak quietly so I don't wake her up. It's in a different room this time. Well, we're in the same room, but it's like what's that? It's fancy.
It's fancy.
It's fancy. It's a studio apartment sort of thing, and it's got its own like bedroom, so I could be out here in the living area and carry on and prattle on with a Canadian fella, and I won't wake her up. Yes.
Yeah,
Thought.
Look at Scott's latest remark there.
You'd swear they were hours apart. Stickers, fucking stickers. Is that what you mean? This one here?
No, the last one. That one, yep. He says the two pictures were taken hours apart.
That's right. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
He knows. He knows.
Oh, well, I know he knows. Did you get your parcel yet, Scott? I don't know. So I thought we'll talk about a couple of things this morning. We might talk about the changes. We might talk briefly about this, but I'll still be doing a video anyway because, let's be honest, not too many people watch the live. I only do it to catch up with you, Greg. People can see us. No, it's coming. It is coming.
Did you send him that cow patty you stepped in?
No, it's a biosecurity thing.
Did you really step in a pile of cow shit?
I stepped in
piles of cow shit. When you're making a video, you're making the one video there, and you stepped in a pile in a little.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh man, absolutely. That's gross.
Yeah. It's just grass. It's gone through a cow. That's all. Just grass.
Anyway,
so when you'd be in the dairy milking cows, and quite often they'd shit on you, and people would like freak out like nothing else. And it's like it's just grass.
That's true.
It's gone through a cow. That's all. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely, yeah. But that was the video with the three phones and the tractor.
Yeah,
and it was that afternoon. I went to that. He's one of my neighbours. And I said, "Hey, could I borrow your big Bedford truck? You remember the Bedford truck I shot with I think it was the 13?
Yeah, 13? I think so. Yep.
So I wanted to shoot that same truck because it's a cool subject. He went, "Oh no, she's pretty well screwed. It takes a bit to get going, and it's in another shed on the other side of the farm." I'm like, okay, no worries. I said, "What about the tractor that you spray all the channels and stuff with?" He said, "Oh yeah, that's in the shed there." So we got that out. And I'll put it down the same paddock. And he's like, "Oh, the cows went in there that long ago, so that'd be fine." Stood in before. So as I'm walking around, and they're probably a week out of the paddock, and so I'll be walking around going, "Oh, that was a bit of soft ground. Was that?" Oh, yeah, it was. Yep. It's the way it is. Yes. So what I was thinking we'll talk about is, so this is the 15 Pro Max. I thought I should add that in because the amount of people who ask, is it the same for the other ones on comments is crazy. And the 14, my son wanted the 14 because we have a trip to Japan at the end of the year and he wants to use it as his camera to travel with. And I wanted to basically have a chat about what you would take with you. Is it just a phone? Would you take other stuff with you? And is a phone good enough? Like pretty much every trip until I started this channel, I would have taken a camera, like a big boy camera, as they say. What are your thoughts?
I think it depends on what you want to shoot.
Yep.
I think for the most part, when you're just going on a vacation type trip like that, where you just want to capture memories, phones are more than adequate. I mean, they are way more than adequate. But if you want to capture something that you may want to market and sell, like Scott just says, maybe wildlife, then you may be inclined to take a little bigger camera with a bigger lens and all that stuff. Now, that being said, Rick Salmon just got back from Tanzania, and all he took was an iPhone 14 Pro Max and a Galaxy S23 Ultra, and he used the 14 Pro Max for wide to mid-range photos and the S23 for the close-ups or closer up shots of animals like
Mhm.
in on the safari or whatever. And that's
Yeah.
all he took. He never took a big camera
Yep.
at all. And
Yep.
you know, it did the trick for him.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I saw
it,
the photos that he had there of the cheetahs and stuff in the trees, and
yeah.
it's pretty impressive. Cheetahs or leopards or whatever it was. There was a big cat
But
in a tree.
but the thing about that too is that, I mean, it's one thing to take like a 500 millimeter or 500 millimeter big lens and all that stuff, and zoom in on a lion's face and get the eyes and everything else. But he's more into now showing the animal in its environment. So
Yep.
you don't need that big reach, right? And
Yep.
and he's having a blast with it.
Yeah. I think Scott's comment here about wildlife and not cows. Did you not watch the Apple launch? Cows are wildlife.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can go into that paddock. I could walk into a yard full of cows and take photos of wildlife right up close and personal. They won't care.
There you go.
So would you take anything? Well, Dale Lotherington, he sells his prints that he's taking with his phone. So that kind of negates the comment about not just taking your phone if you wanted to sell images.
Well, on the other side of it, though, he's not traveling per se. Well, I guess is he home now, or is he still on that?
I think he's back. I think it was only a few days.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
here here now. I saw a comment.
I guess it depends on. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do with your pictures when you're away, when you're traveling. You know, there's vacation, and then there's traveling for the purpose of doing photography for the purpose of selling. I guess there's a bit of a difference. I don't know, but
sure. I think. Well, when we go, we're going to Japan at the end of December. And there's photos there that like we're going to places specifically, not specifically, but certainly a large part of it to take photos at a location. Like we're going down to Hiroshima, which I've never been to before, to take a photo of a torii gate. That's a very famous torii gate in the water. It kind of like it looks like it floats in the water at high tide.
Okay.
And it's a very iconic image. And I'll probably shoot a video there of taking that photo. And I will absolutely print that photo from the phone and put it on my wall somewhere in my house. I've got no problem doing that. And at the same time, that same photo, you could certainly sell it. I've sold phone photos before. So
yeah, I have to.
Yeah. The printing of it, I think, is an old school way of thinking, I think, as in you struggle with printing. And you do to an extent, like the big wall size images, but I think things that you're going to hang in your house, I think your phone size printing will be perfectly adequate.
Yeah.
What sort of gear would you take with you, do you think, besides a phone? Would you take anything else?
Well, I would definitely take a tripod, filters, you know, I mean, the usual suspects, like a thing to charge with on the fly if I needed to. But in all honesty, that's probably all I would take. I wouldn't take a whole lot else.
Yep.
Probably because I mean, maybe a couple of lights, you know, to play around with if it's if it's dark or whatever, you know.
Yep.
Other than that, I mean, if I had lenses, yeah, I'd probably take lenses. But yeah, I guess that would be it.
Yep.
I wouldn't be packing a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the whole point of mobile photography, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I would probably take, for me, I would take two phones. I'm not, I don't know which one of these yet. I would take. We'll talk about that in a second. But I would certainly take a tripod, like a small travel tripod. There are photos around Tokyo nighttime stuff that you definitely want a tripod for, like the long exposure stuff. Like someone said here about the Reheld app, which is a great app, but it's no good in the dark. Like you can't do light
do
trails,
light trails.
things
Yeah.
like So you'd still want to be able to put something on a tripod to be able to achieve that. And somewhere like Tokyo, any big city, I think is worth doing that. I'm not sure about lenses. For me, are a little bit here and there. Like whenever anyone's asked me to review lenses and they send me all of them, I tend to look at the wide, the macro, and the tele, and that's really about it. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they even have a place with travel. What do you think?
I think, well, I mean, if I was traveling to even a place like Japan, say Tokyo, I would probably take a fisheye because you can capture
Oh
some pretty
yeah,
cool things with the fisheye,
that's a really good point.
right?
That's a really good point. Looks like I'm taking a fisheye lens. Tom, if you're watching this, take the fisheye lens I sent you.
I think with the wide, I could probably make do with the ultra wide camera in the phone.
Yep.
I've got the 120 now. I really, really like what it does. So I doubt I would take a telephoto, but I would definitely take a macro.
Yep.
Just
For
because.
travel.
Yeah, why
I
not?
suppose if you take,
never know
you
what
might
you're
take
gonna
more.
You could find plant life that you won't have at home, right? You know, when you're in a different country. So I mean, why not? So
Sure.
that being said, in a pinch, the iPhone has a pretty good macro feature. It's better in the 15 Pro Max than anything else, and as it should be. I've taken some. So I took some pictures of these flowers in a flower pot on our back deck, and I did them with this phone with the macro, and the gap's closing a little bit. It seems. I mean, it's not there. It's not there yet, but it's getting better. Like I say, it's the best macro I've seen without a lens.
Yeah, there's a few things. There's two that stand out to me pretty well with that with the 15 launch that I think that they really missed with the cameras. They were talking too much about environmental wildlife photography with cows, and it was the low light photography is exceptionally better, and they didn't really cover it too much, especially the stars. The stars are so much better. Like the video I did with all three of those phones, you read through those comments, it is an even response from, you can tell what phones people own. But everyone is like, iPhone's the best, Samsung's the best, and like they talk about, like they go into detail in some of the comments about how the stars are in all these different photos. Like it's, whereas last year you would have gone Galaxy, Pixel at the top and iPhone down here somewhere with Astro, but now it's very, very, very close, very close.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the macro. Like we talked about it very briefly in our chat group, but it is so much better than the 14, I think. And they didn't even mention it. It's bizarre to me that you wouldn't mention it.
Yeah. It's Scott says 2 times better.
That's incredible.
Yes. It's incredibler.
2 times more incredible. The battery on this thing's dying at the rapid rate. I've only got 20% left now.
Wow.
Yeah, so this won't go for that long this morning, guys. I will talk about. I will shoot a video on this, but I think it's worth having a quick discussion around it now. This is the Pixel 8 Pro is the phone that I want to love, but it doesn't love me back. And I was using this for, I reckon, was it about 2 weeks, Greg? You reckon?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, and as you would know, I've got a Mac ecosystem at home, so I use a Mac. It's iPads, iMacs, Mac Studio. It's all Mac stuff at home. And I really didn't care that the two main things with that is airdropping and the other is iMessage. And we found a way around that iMessaging. I think Marcus Brownlee did. I think it was him that did the video.
Yep.
It was a short that he
Yep.
did. And I thought, hello,
Yep.
there's a solution here. And I put that messaging app on the phone, and it worked. The trick is you've got to have your Mac on at home to
Yeah.
enable that to happen. And the bubbles weren't green; they were still blue, right?
For the most part, yeah. There was
Yep.
one day I had a couple of green bubbles.
Yep.
So I'm waiting
And-
for my bill, and I probably get an international text message.
Surely you don't get that. That's not a thing anymore, is it?
Well, I don't know. With my plan, I have free text messaging to the US, but as far as the rest of the world, I don't think so. Like I'm talking SMS, like an SMS
But
text
you didn't
message.
send anything; you only received it.
No, I think I sent and received.
Oh, okay.
It was only like
I'm not
three,
sure.
only about 2 or 3. So I don't even know it's even going to do it or whatever.
Yeah, sure. And so I put this app on the computer, and it worked. All right, gentlemen, let's talk about astrophotography now. Have you tried manual settings yet? On what? On the Pixel? Is that what you mean?
I think that's what he's getting at. Yeah.
I have. It hasn't been. I think the Astro mode is better. There'll be a video about that in the not too distant future. I've been testing it. I don't think it's any better. I don't think it's nearly as good. What was I saying? So that the messaging thing worked in a weird way. Like if you were to react to a message, it would come as a different message. Sarah sent me some screenshots of the messages that I was sending her, and it just looked weird. You still got the point. You still got the message, but it just looked different. So I wasn't really too concerned about that. I really didn't care. And the airdropping thing, that didn't bother me either. I would just use was it Android something? I can't remember what the name of the app is on the Mac.
Yeah.
And I just plug the USB in here and just transfer like an old school, like a SD card sort of thing. It worked. It worked just fine. And so it didn't bother me. The things that there are so many things about this that I absolutely love, like the fingerprint sensor. I think is just a great way to unlock your phone. I think the haptics on this, as I explained to you before, Greg, the haptics on the Pixel are they're bloody awesome. It really, really is awesome. And then the watch, the watch is the thing that kept me there for as long as it did, because the Pixel Watch, I think, is better than the Apple Watch for what I use it for. For other people who use it for different things, they may not think that. But when I go for a walk in the mornings, if I use the Apple Watch and I want to listen to music, I have to take the phone with me for Spotify. There's ways around it, and there's hacks around it you can do, and I've got it to work once. But you don't want to sit there forever and a day trying to get this bloody thing to work. You just want it to put your headphones in, go for a walk, and push play on your watch, and off you go. Whereas the Pixel just does that. Yeah. I think that the fitness side of things on the Pixel is better because it uses Fitbit. The information that it gives you, I think, is more usable, more in depth, I guess. But the things that the main thing that put the SIM card back in the iPhone was this little circle. Every time you took a photo and you wanted to look at it, took a photo, and it says processing. Sometimes for a very long time. Sometimes for like 5 to 10 seconds. Sometimes you'll close out of the Photos app and go back into it before you can open it up and
wow,
look at it
that's
again.
crazy.
And that was a pain in the ass. And I'll tell you what, I've gone through so many bloody this versus this videos with the Pixel versus other phones, and no one talks about it. I don't get why no one talks about it. And it can't be my phone. It can't just be a dodgy phone that's doing this, because it looks like that's how it's meant to work. It just, to me, it seems like the processor just isn't there yet. Which,
well, I know when the Pixel first came out, the night mode photos, like the night sight photos, were they were sent to wherever, processed, and come back to the phone every time.
Yeah. But with like I was saying before, with those photos that I showed you from the balcony earlier, they this Pixel phone is not connected to anything. There's no SIM card. I've not connected it to internet. It's got no connection. So it's sitting there processing it internally. So I was doing all that stuff on the phone.
Yeah.
And so that was a big issue for me. And the other thing, because I'm using my phone for work as well, obviously. So when clients want to ring me and stuff and message back and forth, it needs to work. And there were that many times where I would take a photo with the phone and then send it to someone and it just wouldn't go. But you wouldn't know that it wouldn't go. And I was even using the SMS feature, like the messaging feature on the phone.
Yeah.
To do this. I was only using the other app to talk to you guys and to talk to Sarah. Everything else was going through the messaging and it just wouldn't send it. Whereas with the iPhone, you take a photo, send it, it's gone. And it works 100% of the time. Whereas this would work for me about 60% of the time I'd be able to do it. And that's not good enough. I don't think that's good enough.
Yeah.
But both of those things, though, are easily fixed with software updates. So
yeah, there would be. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, like so many companies are doing these days, they're releasing a product that's like, we're not quite there yet, but I want to get it out there.
Yeah.
And we'll fix it later with software. This is Pixel 8 version 2.0. So hopefully in the next month or so, they can identify that and fix it,
So just a note on AirDrop, 17.1 came out yesterday, and it has that feature that they talked about where if you AirDrop something, you can just walk away and it'll finish it over cellular.
Oh, yep.
So
that's very clever.
I haven't tried it yet, but
that's because you're too busy playing with stickers and little emoticons and stuff.
I have that turned off on this right now, so it won't even work. Oh, it did.
Oh,
I thought I had that shut off. Damn it!
That's
there now.
gold.
It's shut off.
That's
there,
hilarious.
See, it work.
But you've got it doesn't work anymore. And bang, there it is.
Now they shut this stupid thing off.
That's the takeaway from this video.
Yeah.
The other thing I was mentioning to you before, the thing that I wish every single phone had what this does is the scam call scanning, if you like.
Yeah.
I was saying to Greg before, there are days where I'll get between 5 and 10 telemarketer calls, like scam calls. This is Amazon and you've been overcharged and press this number.
Oh, yeah.
That sort of bullshit.
See, I get those in a text message.
So do I. And they even call me. But it's just it's like a robot recording. But then there's also the telemarketers who want to know if I want new solar panels for my roof and all this sort of bullshit. And that phone, it answers for you. You don't even hear it ring. It just answers for you. And then it gives you a message saying, this is a scam call. Do you want to answer it? It's like, no.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That should be on every phone. Yes. Yeah. Anywho, I think we're going to have to call it a day, mate, because my battery's running low, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about quickly?
No, I can't think of anything offhand.
That's interesting. I don't know if you could do that. Do you know much about that?
Well, it should. It should do it on Wi-Fi. I would think. But for AirDrop to work, well, yeah, for AirDrop, all you need is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. But they're doing this with cellular data now. So I mean, I don't know. If you got Wi-Fi, it should still work anyway.
I thought I explained this at the beginning of the video. Maybe it was just when I was talking to you, Greg. So here is the best light for doing this live stream, and the PowerPoint's on the other side of the room. And so the cord's not long enough.
Maybe travel with a power cord.
Dickhead. And the PowerPoint that's over here doesn't let it's like this close to the ground. So I can't put this one into it.
And it can't go upside down?
No. We have those.
Oh, okay. And that doesn't
upside down. No, that won't fit. This is America.
David Addison's been pretty quiet. He must have fell asleep.
He's probably got on YouTube. Is that thing still around? All right, let's get out of here, man, before this thing dies on me. It's got into low battery mode already.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Well,
thanks, buddy. Good to catch up.
Good talking again, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you when I'm back at my home.
Kiuna.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.